everybody, and welcome into the Recruiting Roundup. I am Kendall Smith alongside of Wes Mitchell, back here for a new show. I think everybody just missed us so much with like a month without Before the Sandstorm, so we're back, Wes. But this show, it's a little bit different. We're going to time you on your answers to questions that are going to round up the week in recruiting, because as we know, with the transfer portal, with junior day, with everything going on in the world of football recruiting, life is crazy right now, but we want to give everybody the opportunity to just kind of get the roundup on what's been going on. But Wes, we want it to be a legitimate roundup. Like, we want it to be quick, which is why we're timing you, because you tend to ramble on a little bit. We love Wes, but he rambles on a little bit. So you think you're ready to answer these questions on a 1-minute timer, a little PTI style here on Gamecock Central?
Well, we're going to find out. We haven't done this. We haven't rehearsed this, but I'm on the clock, so we'll all find out together, right?
We have a 1-minute timer. Excuse my screen. I do know that it's very cracked, and I don't even replace it because I always drop my phone. But this alarm will start sounding as soon as the 1 minute is up. Wes is going to round up what's happened in the world of Gamecock football recruiting in the last week for you all as quick as he can. So a show, but a little bit of a game too. So without further ado, Wes, let's get into it. First question for you. With recruiting, you got to talk about coaching as well. And this week, South Carolina hired a new coach in Sterling Lucas. So tell us what you know about him, kind of assess the hire for Gamecock fans. And for anybody who's a little bit on the fence maybe about hiring a Jacksonville Jaguars coach, give them a reason why they should be excited. You're on the clock.
Yes, I think first of all, anytime you go get a guy from the NFL, that's a positive thing. He was with the Jaguars for one season. Actually spent 5 years with the Ravens before that, one of the best defenses in the NFL. From everything I was told, when they interviewed the three guys that got sort of official in-person interviews, he just blew Shane Beamer away. I think he's a high-energy guy. He's from Orangeburg, South Carolina, so an in-state person, played at NC State. He's got some versatility in what he could coach, in that he played linebacker in high school and college, and then he coached the defensive front. Assistant defensive line coach for the Jaguars and Ravens. When the defensive line coach at the Ravens got the defensive coordinator job for the Jaguars, he brought Sterling Lucas with him. So I think that's a sign when a guy who has been around another coach wants to bring him. That's usually a positive sign. And, you have the Clayton White connection here. Clayton White, who I think most people would argue is one of South Carolina's. Oh, man. Okay, there it is.
The first one is down. Now we go on to –
a minute goes fast.
Wes. Yeah, it does go really, really fast, but that was a pretty good roundup. We've got more on Sterling Lucas as well on other GC shows. You can check out GC Live, where everything is talked about more in depth. This is just the Cliff Notes version of everything you need to know. But next question, Junior Day was on Saturday for South Carolina football. Several of the juniors that South Carolina is recruiting came out to the basketball game, which unfortunately South Carolina lost. But Shane Beamer spoke to everybody. Wes, you keep in contact with a lot of these recruits for South Carolina. So what was the feedback you heard from that junior day yesterday? You are on the clock.
Yeah, very positive as always. I think I'll give a sort of broad answer as well, because a lot of people maybe don't know what a junior day consists of. Basically, it is a few hours for recruits and their families to get a sense of what goes on within your program on a day-to-day basis. Most of the event, other than the part that was at the basketball arena, was at the football ops facility. There was a nutrition demo with Kristen Coggin, who does a great job with the nutrition side of things at South Carolina. The kids got to make their own pizza, which I thought was kind of a cool little touch. Demos from the training staff and the weightlifting guys. Of course, some just time spent around the assistant coaches and Shane Beamer. So this is not like a camp where guys are coming out and competing. It's more just about spending time with the coaches, getting to know them, learning a little bit more about this program, kind of off the field. But yeah, feedback was great. South Carolina had a number of guys in that are in-state kids and a number of guys in from Jacksonville, Florida. That was sort of a trend. We've got plenty on GamecockCentral.com.
I love how you rounded up there. We've got plenty on GamecockCentral.com. Like, you did better.
I think your phone is broken. The countdown is off.
It's funny when you're working out and they're like, oh, you're in a 1-minute plank. It feels like the longest minute of your life.
Like an hour.
And then for you and I, because we're both talkers, when they're like, you have a 1 minute amount of time to talk, you're like, that felt like 10 seconds. Like, I did a speech in speech class, and we had 10 minutes, and I felt like I was talking for 2 minutes. I'm like, this is not enough time, but better that time. You're improving and improving.
Okay, good. I honestly thought we were at about 40 seconds when the thing went off.
You'll gauge the time better as we continue. But final question for today's episode of the Recruiting Roundup. Several new commits this past week out of the transfer portal. Round it up for everybody, Wes. Who committed? And tell us a little bit more about the people we'll be seeing in Garnet and Black next year out of the portal.
Okay, you're going to have to pop up some graphics right beside my head as I go. It's going to be like ding, Devontae Reed, safety from Central Michigan, Christian Bill Smith, running back from Wake Forest, Antoine Wells Jr. is a wide receiver from James Madison, and Terrell Dawkins, a defensive end from NC State. The big picture answer for all four of these guys is that they're instant impact players at positions of need for South Carolina. You look at defensive end, that's a spot where South Carolina lost 2 starters this past season. Look at wide receiver, we all know Josh Vann is back, but they need another playmaker at the wide receiver position. Enter Antoine Wells Jr., who is honestly one of the best receivers in all of the FCS. The loss of Jalen Foster at safety, I think Devontae Reed steps right in as a multi-year starter at Central Michigan and can be a starter there for South Carolina. And then, of course, Z. White is gone, Kevin Harris is gone, and Christian Bill Smith, a 2-time leading rusher for Wake Forest, will step right in and be a contributor for the Gamecocks this year. Where are we at?
That was really, really good. That was like right on the money. Perfect. I'm impressed. Wes, if you had to give yourself a score, scale of 1 to 10, on how well you think you did with the PTI-style answers, what would you give yourself?
Okay, I'll give myself a B minus.
Okay.
I think for a day one, there were some solid answers. Went a little bit over on the first one and got cut off with what I wanted to say. I think there was steady improvement through but we're just going to take it 1 week at a time, and we'll see what happens next time, right?
I do think there was steady improvement. The first one was a little rocky. The second one got a little better. And the third, you were like right on the money with that answer and being perfectly at 1 minute. But we will be doing this recruiting roundup every single week because life is just crazy right now in the world of college football, especially for the South Carolina Gamecocks. So be sure to subscribe to GamecockCentral.com. But this show will be free. We have a lot of free content as well on our YouTube channel. Follow us on all social media. Wes, thanks for doing the recruiting roundup. It's good to be back. I really did miss before the sandstorm. So in the meantime, we'll just rock out this show.
I was about to say, you just missed the before the sandstorm so much that Kendall was texting me like, what can we do? What can we talk about? Let's do another show. Kendall wants to do about 10 different shows, I think. I don't know if we're going to be able to do 10, but I think more shows to come, maybe some more of the interviews you're doing with recruits, which are really cool, with some more like off-the-wall questions. Mm-hmm. By the way, I'm going to give a promo for you, Kendall. Go listen to the latest one with Nick Emanwari, and then give us your opinion. Ranch with spaghetti, I believe, was the take from Nick.
Yes, it was.
He says, no, I think I can eat ranch on anything. So I'm not going to hate on Nick's opinion there.
I'm not going to hate on it, and I will try it, but I do think we need to do a show where we're trying all of these food combinations, like the ketchup and quesadillas from Braden Davis, spaghetti and ranch from Nick. I think Ryan said he loves hot sauce on everything, and I don't like hot sauce. So that
there's one of your 10 shows right there. But I agree. When we continue to expand our digital video platform very, very soon, we're going to do a show where we try all the food. Yes. Done deal.
Yes. Stay on the lookout for everything coming on Gamecock Central. It's very exciting. We won't say anything. We just want to say, get ready, because Gamecock Central to the moon, Wes. As we always say, it is going to be exciting. But this has been the Recruiting Roundup. He's Wes Mitchell. I'm Kendall Smith. We will see you guys next time, and thank you so much for tuning in. Bye, everybody.